I was a young lawyer practicing at a large international law firm. I had just taken on a case pro bono. I remember my first meeting with my new client. I only had about 15 minutes to spend with her. When Anna first walked in the room, I could almost feel her fear. I explained I didn't have much time to meet with her. 90 minutes later, I was still sitting in my chair, gripped by her horrifying story. Anna told me she was living in her hometown in Albania, working part-time in a restaurant when two men came in and sat at one of her tables. They told her about the opportunity to become a nanny for a wealthy family in Florence, Italy. When Anna arrived in Florence, two men met her. They grabbed her, threw her in the back of a car, drove her out to an abandoned warehouse where they repeatedly raped her, beat her, and then starved her in a room so her bruises healed enough that they could put her on the street and force her to go with men. They threatened that they would kill her family if she didn't. One night, Anna went into a little restaurant for a bite to eat. She immediately recognized the man behind the counter. He recognized her. It was the best friend of her older brother. He knew from one look at her what had happened. He vowed to help her to escape, and he did. After that meeting, I went up to my senior partner's office and I told him about Anna's case. He looked at me and said, "Dawn, you'll never win that case." "What? Why?" I asked. He said, "After September 11th, the laws have changed, making it virtually impossible to get a grant of asylum in a case like Anna's. But if she's sent back, she'll be killed. The men have already come looking for her. They've stabbed her brother." He added, "You've also been assigned the worst judge in the city of Chicago." He finished with, "And you're going to have to prepare her for trial, which is going to be difficult. She's going to have to testify about every detail of what happened to her." All we had was hope. We had no choice but to cling to hope. What gave me the greatest hope was the grace of our God, and it was by His grace that I remembered reading about a woman reporter who had a heart for trafficking victims. I reached out to her and set up a meeting. She agreed to cover our story, and we were covered on the front page of the Chicago Sun-Times twice. The judge knew the city of Chicago was watching. 2 years later, our impossible battle became a possible victory, and we won a grant of asylum. What's impossible is only a function of our beliefs, but what's possible is a function of our God.
Well done. Good job.